What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and it is Friday, May 15th. No, not May, November 15th. We're a long way from May. We're at the Polderbaan, which is at the moment the only runway for arrivals. Wind is blowing from the south a little bit, not a lot. We have 747s incoming, the A380 as well. Before that, Ryanair, flight 2334. Relatively high humidity, wing fluff over the top foil, vortices here and there. Big picture overview, this is what it looks like. So we have bits of blue, interestingly, but we also have nebulosity, high pressure, drizzle every now and then. Although over here I haven't experienced any drizzle since I arrived. A bit later today, because I was also addressed by Officer Rudolph, who did some investigative German journalism into P3 and whether or not you're allowed to park next to the runway where I was sent away earlier. Well, yeah, there's already a heavy coming, so let's first look at that landing. I was about to show you guys flight radar, show you what's coming, but coming in first is Delta Airlines flight 136, arriving from Detroit, Michigan. It's an A330-300, 3,220 nautical miles. It has journeyed from Detroit to Amsterdam thus far. It is 17 years old. First flight, March 2007. Marja, goedemorgen. And all others, welcome to the show. Leo, Peter, Erik, Luxbro, Arno, Peter, Richard, Martijn, Blackburst. Goedemorgen and good morning to one and all. Happy Friday. The weather makes for interesting lighting on occasion. That was in the red. Let me lower the volume just a little bit, ambient. Let's have a look. I think we are going to see 3 queens before 1 p.m. local time. The first queen is already coming in, approaching in 7 minutes from now. Cathay Pacific Cargo 747-8 arriving from Dubai. And also entering Dutch airspace, Saudia arriving from Jeddah. That is expected 18 minutes past the hour. Zooming out a little bit and looking to the east. The Emirates A380 today is expected to land at 12:26 at the moment, which is a time where only one runway for arrivals will be open. And that runway is expected to still be Polderbaan, the runway we are standing next to. So I'm expecting an up-close arrival of the Emirates A380 later today. Supernova is also coming in. 1 minute 01 is its ETA. That is exactly when 2 runways are opening up for arrivals. It was a few more minutes past the hour initially, so it is making up time. And that is a good thing when its ETA is before 1 o'clock. It's landing on Polderbaan most likely, but yeah. At least I'm going to stick around until it has landed, and whether or not it is on center or on Polderbaan remains to be seen. I'm hoping for Polderbaan obviously, but we'll see. This is EasyJet flight 22921 arriving from Bristol, an A320. The lights that you saw in the background were from an A319 Lufthansa flight 988, which is arriving from Frankfurt. Hadi Danny, goedemorgen. T-Mac, goedemorgen. Good morning. Good morning, Chin Chun Lo. Sheila. Wolfgang. Mate. Nice to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. First butt shot of the day, courtesy of EasyJet. Hey there, Mark. Morning. Good to see you again, mate. Lurking but not working. Exactly the way it should be. I thought I saw one A350 on flight radar coming in, and interestingly it is the A350 from Qatar arrival from Doha, which I thought was expected around 11, so probably going to the center runway then. We'll see. This is Lufthansa flight 988 with the Lu sticker. Okay. Let's see what that looks like. It's an A319 arriving from Frankfurt, 201 nautical miles. It has journeyed the Dailu, D-A-I-L-U. 27 years old, first flight October 1997. Lu, the Lu sticker. Is that Donald Duck? Captain Donald Duck. What up? Oh, and there's something over there as well. Oh. A little duckling hatching from an egg. Hey there, Caroline, good morning. Maria, good morning. FJWH, good morning. Andrea, good morning. Andrew, good morning. Alan, good morning. Jillard, goedemorgen. Welcome one and all. Let's turn around. Delta Airlines flight 74 coming in. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. A330. Not an A350 today. Russell also sitting on his throne once again. Overlooking everything here. KLM 737 will be following this airplane. This is Delta Airlines flight 74. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia, A330-300. 19 years old, first flight July 2005. Hey there, Anita and Leonard. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, all others. A warm welcome to our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member, Maria Spinelli. Ciao! Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. I hope everything in the lounge will be to your liking. Don't forget to use the custom emojis that are now at your disposal. Let me know if something is lacking in the lounge and I'll see what I can do. Welcome, Maria. Right, already visible, faintly, is the first queen, being preceded by a little KLM 737-800 that is arriving from Porto. Now, unfortunately for that 737, I'm not going to follow it. That is the fate of airplanes preceding 747s. You get little to no attention. Hey there, Jindrosek. Goedemorgen, kerel. Alles lekker? Raven Rock, good morning. Ricardo, goedemorgen. Alles lekker? And also Congratulations and a massive big thank you to Caroline, who is celebrating 8 months of membership and she writes, woohoo, get in! Caroline, thank you so much for your continued support. Hope everything is still to your liking in the lounge. Thank you so much for your continued support. I hope you're going to stick around as a frequent visitor of the streams for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular viewer. And also, Mrs. Professor, just in time for the Queen. 14 months of membership, just made it in time for the Queen. Indeed you did. Thank you as well so much for your continued support. Now let me know if something isn't to your liking in the lounge. That goes for all members. I'm always up for suggestions. Hit me up in the comment section in the members only part. Marianne, goedemorgen. Also just in time. The first of probably 3 Queens until 1 p.m. plus the A380, which is going to land on Polderbaan most likely. This is Cathay Pacific Cargo flight 2067. It is a 7478 freighter arriving from Dubai. We can already start to hear it. 7 hours and 30 minutes underway, 12-year-old airplane, first flight December 2011. Let me shut up and let's look and listen to this beautiful machine coming in. Fucking nee. Jeroen, goedemorgen. Dexus. Kenna, Chef, Chris. Dirkie, good morning. The first of most likely 3. The second one is from Saudia, already in Dutch airspace by now. Third Queen coming in is expected around 1 o'clock. Supernova Airlines arriving from China. We'll have to wait and see if it is going to land on Polderbaan, the last one. Saudia, which is in Dutch airspace already, most likely will. H1 bird control van just now passed by. Good morning, John. Now, there's a big dichotomy in the sky. Some places it looks very dark and grim, like the point of view where you are now looking at, but looking to the left, I can also see bits of blue right now in the sky. I will show you, but first I'm going to highlight the message that John just now gifted 5 memberships. John, thank you so much for that. That is very generous of you. You shouldn't have, but you did it anyway. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, those 5 new members. I hope you will enjoy the membership. Don't forget to say thank you to John for the gifted membership. Please enjoy the custom emojis that are now at your disposal for a month. John, thank you so much for your kindness. And welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge new members. Second Queen coming in Dutch airspace already. Over there it looks grim. But over there we have substantial bits of blue. There also seems to be a bit of rain falling over there because I see something resembling a rainbow. I did bring my umbrella along just in case. Strange weather and the skies look interesting. No substantial rain is expected to fall today, but temporary episodes of slight drizzle might fall just like yesterday. SAS A320neo coming in now, flight 1553, arriving from Stockholm. And after that we are going to see the first triple of the show. KLM flight 696 arriving from Toronto, Canada. Now this Neo already had a nose job. Hi Sip. Hey, is this airplane related to you, Dreamliner? Didn't know you were related to airplanes. Hey Sip. Relation of Jendrusik Sip? Who knows? 2-year-old airplane already had a nose job. First flight August 2022. Navy Jack, good to see you again, mate. Happy to be back and happy to have you in the stream. That also goes for Mike Romeo and M. Visser. Good morning to you all. And all others who have joined. Bob, good evening. Hope you've had a good day, mate. Welcome back. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the first Queen landing already. 7478. I think we can still see her taxiing back to the gate or to the cargo platform, more precisely. Hey, check it out, folks. There's even a contrail to be seen. The dichotomy in the sky is immense. Yeah, hard to see. Already cloudiness interfering with visibility. From what I could see, it resembled something Qatarish, but it was too far away and too brief for me to tell with a high degree of certainty. Matt, goedemorgen. Patrick, goedemorgen. Wolfgang asks, did you hear that the first A321 XLR entered service a few days ago? I didn't know that. Which airliner took it into service? Don also present. Joris, goedemorgen. I'm standing on besides the cycling path just north of the official parking lot Spottersplaats Polderbaan. This is KLM flight 696. 777-200 arriving from Toronto, Canada. 6 hours and 35 minutes on the way. So Toronto and Dubai, more or less the same flight time. It's the PHBQO, 17-year-old airplane. First flight January 2007. And Joris also asks, also a snack car in the weekends. When the weather is decent, yeah. The French fries truck usually is there. The ice cream truck, not so often this time of year. Nice combo shot with H1 bird control van. Right, bring her in. Touchdown. Ooh, what's that? It's an immaculate. It's an unimmaculate flap surface. No, this one is a bit smudgy. Very un-KLM like. Now in this little gap I see another contrail coming. Interesting. Yeah, blown up pixels. Hard to see. It's flying pretty far to the southwest of me. The only little hole of blue in the sky right now. But there was a contrail visible. Iberia! Ah! Oh, oh! I saw a little fishy doing a little splash. You might have heard it. The splash, that is. Now, this is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. 7878 Dreamliner, 6 hours and 33 minutes on the way. 7-year-old airplane, first flight March 2017. A little bit behind it is Delta Airlines Flight 90, which is arriving from Orlando, Florida. And that is an A330-300 coming in, turning in. Wizz Air, London, Warsaw. Cool. Cheers, guys. Henk, goedemorgen. Now if you just joined us, welcome to the show, good morning. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy, we're standing at the Polderbaan, the only runway in use for arrivals at the moment. This is American Airlines Flight 204 arriving from Philadelphia. If you tuned in only just now, you already missed the arrival of 1747. Luckily, there is a second one coming, which is expected to land within 10 minutes. The third one might also land on Polderbaan, and if not on Polderbaan, then probably on center. Around 1 o'clock is its ETA. And what was it again? 12:20, 12:40, something like that. The A380 is expected, standard livery, but expected before 1 o'clock, so landing on Polderbaan very likely. Harry the Hypnotizing Heron is also here, saying hi to all the viewers. What you looking at? What you looking at? Meanwhile, the Delta is coming. Let's turn around. Hey there Martina, good morning. Kelsey, good morning. 3 minutes for the 747, Wolfgang says, so don't go too far from your screen, otherwise you'll miss the Queen. Hadi Adrie, goedemorgen. Delta Airlines Flight 90 coming in now. That is an A330-300 arriving from Orlando, Florida. 8 hours 22 minutes. Its flight time, it is 9 years old. Its first flight was in January 2015. And the Saudia Cargo is third in line. Thank you, Maria. Can we see it already? Is what I'm wondering. Probably not. Hey there, Mohammed, who is tuning in from Nasiriyah in Iraq. Welcome to the show, mate. Hope all is well. 0108 Daniel, goedemorgen. From Old Schensplaat, right on the border of Zeeland and the province of South Holland. Gerrit, goedemorgen. Perfect timing, mate. Leon, goedemorgen. Tried honking with the truck. Oh, mate. Next time. Better luck next time. Nick, goedemorgen. And welcome all others. Delta A330 coming in from Orlando. Doing a little wheelie. Is it a wheelie competition day? Thus far the heavies have formed and done more or less wheelies. Hardly any wind, the water is calm, the water is also devoid of any water birds, for at least as far as I can see over here. Still cannot see into the water on this location perfectly because of the overgrown edges of the water on this side. Hadi Piotr Keur, goedemorgen. No, it is dry, it's just nebulous. Another airplane that we are not going to follow, Air Arabia Morocco arriving from Nador. It's an A320. Yeah, the same fate as the KLM arriving from Porto, preceding the previous Queen. No attention. Hadi Lane, goedemorgen, and welcome all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan. Runway for arrivals, the only one at the moment. Saudia coming in from Jeddah, bringing us Jeddah nights. Saudia Cargo, flight 933. 5 hours and 32 minutes on the way. And this queen is 29 years old. Her first flight was in December 1994. think I just started middle school in that year. Brugklas. Hey Lisa, what is up? Yo, I tune in and I see a fellow queen. Amazing. Yeah, and if you only joined us just now, you might have missed the first queen. This is number 2 already. Oh, check it out, wing fluff. Gorgeous. Will she get loud? We'll find out soon enough. Could have done better in the audio department. Still, good landing. Good morning, Waxachizek. Good to see you again, mate. Hope you've had a good holiday. Hamdi notices one engine not reversing. Yeah, maybe a defect. Tom also notices it. Flores as well. Indeed, Dexys, the first one was better. That was a louder landing. Well, if we're lucky, we might see a third one in the form of Suparna. On the way now, ETA around 1 o'clock. Was making up some time. Earlier the ETA was a few minutes past 1. I think it was 1:01 last time I checked. We'll do another check pretty soon. Indeed, John. Cathay won the loudness competition thus far. The winner thus far. Now let's quickly turn back. Lufty CRJ coming in. Michael's favorite. I haven't seen him in the chat yet, but will he report for duty in time? We'll see. This is Lufthansa flight 2302. It's a CRJ arriving from Munich. 1 hour and 9 minutes underway. 15 years old, first flight November 2009, and the lights that you see in the background are Croatia Airlines flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Today flown in an A319. And also, John once again gifting 5 more memberships, as if once wasn't enough. John, thank you so much for your generosity. That was really above and beyond. You shouldn't have, but you did it anyway. I hope that everybody who received a gifted membership from you today will say thank you for it and will enjoy the membership. The custom emojis are now at your disposal for a month, including the newest ITA Airways replacement of Chucky. Enjoy the membership. Don't forget to say thank you to John. John, once again, thank you so much for your kindness. That is above and beyond. See, the Turkish is also coming in. Turkish is coming in a Dreamliner. Nice. Aren't those spoilers relatively small? It's interesting to see how dimensions and proportions change and differ from airplane type to airplane type. Looking at the proportions of this airplane, you can also see that the top part is relatively long. So is this then a converted former passenger 747? I think it might be. I'm also starting to feel a few drizzly droplets. Nothing substantial. Let's quickly turn back. I can already start hearing the A319 approach. Croatia Airlines flight 450 arriving from Zagreb, with Turkish flight 1951 behind it, and that is a 7879 Dreamliner. Russell and his cronies. Oh, and the geese are also saying hi. Gary Geese and his mates. Alan, what is up, mate? Good to see ya. We've made it to Friday, indeed. And the Cathay Pacific 747 was extremely wimpy. In the audio department, it certainly was. Could have done way better than that. Now, some more lights in the background already visible. That is an Embraer 175, already pretty far away. Or is there another airplane in between these two that I'm not seeing on flight radar? That sometimes happens. If that is the case, it is often a bizjet. But I'm seeing a bizjet from NetJets arriving from Nice, flying over Amsterdam North, on its way to runway 22. So probably just the is that maybe then the Air Arabia Morocco already? Yeah, I think flight radar is lagging a little bit, and I'm already seeing the A320 arriving from Tangier. Interesting. The Embraer 175 still seem to be a bit far away for us to see already. Turkish Flight 1951 arriving from Istanbul. 7879 Dreamliner. Relatively new machine, 1 year old, first flight December 2022, so it is going to turn 2 next month. And we're getting a butt shot. Now, those are dirty flaps. Still lovely to see. You can see the reflection of the lights in the tarmac, in the bum. Hadi Tina, goedemorgen. En Arjan, goedemorgen. Watching sneakily while working. AMS Live is your best reason to procrastinate since 2022, both at work or in school. The channel your boss and teachers love to hate. Morning, German Monster, and welcome all others who have joined in the meantime. Right. So there is another airplane that is not visible on flight radar. Interesting. The Embraer 175, still further away. Or is this? Oh, this is Morocco, the airplane arriving from Tangier. It is now hovering still according to flight radar, interestingly. And this is Electra Airways, flying on behalf of Air Arabia Morocco probably. Now bear with me. Electric Airways, operated by Nouvelle Air, for Nouvelle Air. But now flying on behalf of Air Arabia Morocco. Alright. Enough with the confusion. Let's go back to something simple, something blue. KLM, Embraer 175. There it is. Oh! Coming in from Prague, but it's also been sniffing something. That looks like a white-tipped nose. KLM flight 661 diverted back to Amsterdam, Infinity says. Goedemorgen, Infinity, by the way. Lining up for Polderbaan. Okay. Okay, interesting. First up, this Embraer 175 arriving from Prague. 385 nautical miles it has journeyed. 7-year-old airplane, first flight July 2017. Looks like there is snow in Prague. Hey there, Halil. Good morning. Good to see ya. Transponder fell in the eye. Who knows, Andy? Something like that. It all of a sudden stopped. Right, KLM flight 644 arrived from New York, JFK. The crows are getting out of here. Where to? Don't know. Looking, following them. They're now behind me. Oh, they're going to do a sneaky attack from behind later. EasyJet A319 arriving from Gatwick in the foreground. KLM 78710 arriving from New York, JFK in the background. Also coming in soon, KLM flight 661 returning to Amsterdam. And indeed, Wolfgang, if they didn't drop some fuel somewhere over the North Sea, it is going to be heavy. Just 15 minutes of flight time. Right, well. Good morning, Infinite Mustafa. The KLM A330 to Houston, returning, fourth to arrive. Mike, good morning. Bart, goedemorgen. First up, KLM flight 644, arrival from New York, JFK. It is the KLM 100 years livery, now 5 years past its time. The PHBKA, 5 years old. Wing fluff over the top foil. First flight, June 2019. Check it out. Immaculate strap surfaces. Beautifully clean. Hey there, Josegi, good to see you. Tuning in from Nairobi once again. Hope all is well. Tarum, flight 361, arriving from Bucharest. 737-800, first airplane that you see. We can also see something in the distance. That is an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Stansted. Floor says KLM flight 661 probably first dumping fuel over IJsselmeer. Yeah, it is flying towards Enkhuizen, so they're definitely going to dump fuel. If it is slightly possible, they'll try to avoid landing too heavily, being too heavy. Morning, bear with me. Good to see you again, mate. Hope you're enjoying your day off. Just play nuts. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. So, yeah, KLM flight 661. Now, once again, turning to the northwest, looking at flight radar. The A330 going to Houston, returning to Amsterdam. Only minutes after takeoff. Still only number 7 on flight radar, tracked by 340 people, rookie numbers. It's the PHAOA. Now on its way to Herugewaard. So it looks like it is coming back to Schiphol. Howdy Adriaan, goedemorgen, good to see ya. Hey, a new picture. Is it more or less scary than the previous picture? Griepentrog, Economics, good morning. Gebakje, goedemorgen. Wolfgang asks about the firefighters. I haven't seen them yet, even though I was early over here. I think I arrived on the scene around 9. Was a few minutes late because I also encountered Officer Rudolph and we caught up a little bit. He also did some research regarding P3 and parking along the threshold of 18 left. EasyJet coming in. One of KLM's A321 Neos is number 3 to arrive. Howdy Tim, goedemorgen. Cornelis, goedemorgen. Cornelis is enjoying the show. Maarten from West Australia. Maarten, hey. And that's early. Have they already begun? Everything now coming in. Hey, wait a minute. Everything coming in is now going to the center runway. Is that to give flight 661 the polderbaan? That is interesting. Now, interestingly, Wolfgang was referring to the firefighters. Interestingly, they do seem to be present over there already. Those are the regular vehicles. Is that an emergency staircase? B14? That's different than the regular vehicles. That's a standard vehicle. Interesting. Yeah, 661 seems to be coming to this runway and everything else seems to be going to center for the time being. So we are going to have exclusive visibility of the airplane now returning, interestingly. Ambulance is ready as well, Bart says. Now number 3 on flight radar. 1975 feet and vertical speed 1000. What? That is interesting. That is quite low, flying low already. Good morning, the Eagle. Right. Let's see, the PHAOA. I think that must be it then. Indeed, John, will still be very heavy with fuel. Everything else coming in is now diverted to the center runway. Right, so if you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing at the polderbaan, which was the only runway in use for arrivals. Now a dedicated runway for KLM flight 661 returning from Houston, Texas. A330-200 returning after something happened. The gear is down. All the other inbound flights now diverting to the center runway, giving all space to this airplane. The PH-AOA, 19 years old, first flight August 2005, now at 1,000 feet and descending. Got an authority figure over there. Firefighters also out. Not sure if it is related. Don't see any other vehicles in the vicinity at the moment. Apparently they didn't dump fuel. It looked initially like they were going to fly to open water so that they could dump fuel, but they returned. If you look to the flight path. Wolfgang is noticing the high speed. Because they are heavy, they have to land at a higher speed. 165 knots. Right, let's see how this goes. Well, hats off to the pilots. This looks like a standard landing. Can you imagine? Definitely passing by at a higher speed than normal. Right, lights are on the fire engine. Ambulance is ready over there. The airplane landed, no issues. Right, the firefighters are on the move. So too are the emergency vehicles. Now this airplane probably is going to stop. Yeah. So we have 3 firefighters approaching the airplane. That has now come to a stop on the runway. More emergency vehicles, including an ambulance over there. Authority, or is that an ambulance? More vehicles over there. Vehicle rushing over. That's the bird controller. If you joined us just now, this is KLM flight 661, an A330-200 that was destined to go to Houston, Texas, but returned after just 15 minutes of flight. Landed on Polderbaan safely. All other inbound traffic now landing on the center runway. Emergency vehicles have approached the airplane, as you guys can see. Officer Rudolph and his mates also just now passed by on the cycling path. The A330 has begun taxiing again. You can hear the engine spool up. You can see it move. If you join us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing along the Polderbaan runway 18 right, which was the only runway in use for arrivals until KLM flight 661, destined to go to Houston, Texas, had to return. Did not have time to dump fuel. Landed just now safely. Emergency vehicles immediately came towards it. As you can see, it is now taxiing off the runway. Right, there she is going. Firefighters probably are going to return to their station. That's the H1 bird control van. That's also a firefighter van. The airplane itself taxiing back to the gate by the looks of it. Jeroen says taxiing to gate G79. That means that Polderbaan once again is open for business by the looks of it. Will be interesting to see which airplane will be the first to land on Polderbaan again. Firefighters do seem to be following the airplane, just to be sure. For the brakes, Hans says. Interesting, thanks for the information. Yeah, those brakes had to do some work. The airplane returned to Schiphol after just 15 minutes and it did not have enough time to dump fuel, so it landed with high speed and relatively heavy. But it was a perfect landing. Meanwhile, you might be hearing the sound of an emergency vehicle that is not over there, but somewhere over there. I think that's an ambulance. Yeah. So that's not on Schiphol, but on the road adjacent to the location I'm standing. Now, if all is well, the runway we are standing next to, the Polderbaan, should be open for business again. With the A330 almost at the main platform area already. Now, if you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You missed an emergency landing of a KLM A330-200 just now. Was going to go to Houston, Texas, but it didn't. And people in the chat are mentioning that it was because of a bird strike. As you can see, the weather is a bit so-and-so. Mostly dry, hardly any wind. We already saw 2 747s land. A third one is expected around 1 o'clock. The A380 is expected to land on this runway, assuming that normal operations are going to resume again. In the meantime, we have a Chinese triple over here. China Cargo Airlines, flight 209, arriving from Shanghai, 11 hours and 31 minutes on the way. It is a 777 freighter. The airplane is a year old. Its first flight was in February 2023. Now, the only A350 of the morning, Qatar Flight 275, already in the vicinity. For now, everything still seems to be going to the center runway. It does allow us to have a look at the beautiful wing fluff that you can see. I'm expecting traffic to Polderbaan to resume pretty soon. Everything diverting to the center runway because of the emergency landing that took place just now. KLM A330 flight 661 landed over here. Russell and his cronies over there, standing guard, overlooking us. Now, when is the first airplane to the Polderbaan coming? Everything still seems to be going to the center runway. I'm wondering when the first airplane to the Polderbaan is going to appear. Russell taking off once again. Bird control van H1 over there. Right, I'm waiting with anticipation for the first airplane to come to the Polderbaan again. Airplanes have been diverted to the center runway due to the emergency landing taking place here not too long ago. Delta flight 236 arrival from Tampa is also on the glide slope to center. Will the EasyJet A319 arriving from Gatwick be the first airplane? Ah, Dirk on Tour says Aer Lingus, the first one. No, that means that all the heavies that are now flying downwind will also be going to the center runway. Those Dreamliners both still going to center? Damn it. Leaves us with the narrow bodies. Right, so if you look around, the atmosphere looks funny. Don't see this every day. We're under the influence of high pressure that is creating skies like these with insane lighting. We also saw bits of blue in the sky earlier. Now you can still see them. So on one hand you have that, on the other there's also bits of blue. And the next moment you'll feel a slight drizzle. Now, look at that sky. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching MS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan. Polderbaan at the moment not being used for incoming traffic yet, and that is because we just had an emergency landing taking place here. KLM flight 661, A330-200, destined to go to Houston, Texas, returned, probably because of a bird strike. After just 15 minutes of flight, it landed very heavily. Well, being heavy, I should say. It landed safely. All the other traffic diverted to the center runway, which is now open for business. But soon Polderbaan is going to reopen. If you joined us just now, you might have missed the emergency landing. You also might have missed the landing of two 747s already. We're sticking around until approximately 1 o'clock at least, which is when Supernova is coming in. Third Queen, arrival from China. And the Emirates A380 is also coming between 12 and 1 o'clock, so that is one runway for arrival time. That one runway I'm expecting, unless any new emergency landings would happen, that runway is going to be the Polderbaan, the one we are standing next to. EasyJet A319 arriving from Geneva. The next airplane coming in is Delta Flight 236 arriving from Tampa. Let's have a quick look at flight radar. Supernova is now expected 5 minutes to 1, and that is good news because that means it is landing in a time slot where, oh, that's the stream health. I was going to the METAR. Also update the weather. Means that the Supernova Queen now looks to be landing on Polderbaan later today. We still have a ceiling at 2,200 feet, broken clouds, also few clouds at 600 feet, 9 kilometers of visibility below the ceiling. No significant changes are expected. We have relatively high pressure, 1,027 hectopascals. Pretty soon we are going to see the Polderbaan reopen. And the A380 and the Third Queen now look to land on this runway. Meanwhile, Qatar Flight 275. The A350 arrival from Doha should be coming and is probably... Where did I see it? Looking for a needle in a haystack. No, that's EasyJet. That's an A319. Right, so Shamrock Flight 602 arriving from Dublin should be the first airplane to Polderbaan once again. Sadly, that means that the Dreamliners from Austin and Panama City from KLM will be going to the wrong runway. More interesting to see the A350 from Qatar, arrival from Doha. Oh! Also a shitload of geese. Welcome to Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. And landing. Or not. Not everybody seems to be satisfied with the location, the landing spot. Right, Shamrock does seem to be turning in. So traffic to Polderbaan is resuming in a few moments. Does mean sadly that the A350 from Qatar and the two KLM 787s will be landing on the wrong runway. This is Qatar Flight 275, A350-900, 6 hours and 31 minutes on the way. The airplane is 9 years old, first flight March 2015. beautiful wing fluff. What is this? Check out the lighting, it is beautiful. Welcome to Schiphol Airport, folks. What is up, Drew? What is up, Sander? What is up, Paul? What is up, Georgios? Welcome, one and all. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at the Polderbaan, which is a bit calm right now, and that has to do with an emergency landing taking place on this runway not too long ago. KLM Flight 661 A330-200, which was going to go to Houston, Texas, had to return after 15 minutes of flight. Landed on Polderbaan, all other traffic was diverted to the central runway, and that was the case until just now. First airplane coming in is Shamrock Flight 602, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. If you join us just now, you might have also missed the landing of 2 Boeing 747s. A third one from Supernova is coming. Last time we checked a couple of minutes ago, its ETA was shortly before 1 o'clock, and if that is going to continue, or if it is going to continue to make up some more time even, we're going to see that 747 land on Polderbaan as well. Barring any new emergency landings, of course. The A380 is also expected between 12 and 1, which means that both these quad-engined airplanes are expected to land on the Polderbaan right here. Looking in this direction, it looks dreary. We're under the influence of high pressure, and that means cloudy weather, nebulous weather, but also bits of blue here and there. For instance, a little gap right above me. But then again, if you look to the east, it looks like drizzle. Scale of chimney smoke currently looks like so. Hardly any wind. What wind is blowing mostly from the south. And just gorgeous lighting if you go to the southeast with the camera, looking towards Schiphol Airport itself. Absolutely beautiful. Next up, Shamrock Flight 602, arriving from Dublin, Ireland. Russell says hi to everybody. Flight time 1 hour and 11 minutes. The airplane is 17 years old. Its first flight was in April 2007. Now, it is 11 o'clock. That's usually the time span from 11 until 11:40 that 2 runways are open for arrivals. The inbound peak has begun, so parallel arrivals are continuing expectedly for another 40 minutes or so. Unfortunately, 2 KLM heavy hitters are going to center right now. Flight parallel to this is KLM Flight 758, arriving from Panama City. Still assigned to the central runway as a consequence of the emergency landing that took place earlier. Meanwhile, Shamrock over here, the first airplane after the emergency landing of KLM Flight 661 to arrive, landing safely. Unfortunately, we're missing out. Okay, then Flight 758 that was normally supposed to land on Polderbaan, but now is going to center. Good morning, Martin, and thank you for your kind words. Good morning, Andy, and good morning to all others. Schiphol Airport looking more scenic than ever. If you joined us just now, you missed an emergency landing. KLM flight 661 returning from Houston, Texas. A330-200 landing safely here. After just 15 minutes of flight, it had to return to Schiphol, allegedly because of a bird strike. Meant that the runway was closed for a little while. Now it has just reopened, and the Shamrock that landed just now was the first airplane coming in after the temporary closure. Two 747s already landed, a 747-8 and a 747-400, and another 747 is coming. Suparna, now expected a few minutes before 1 o'clock. The A380 is expected also between 12 and 1, which means that both these airplanes are now expected to land on the Polderbaan. So if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around. We're going to stick around at least until these airplanes have landed. Next coming in is KLM flight 1404. It is a 737-900 SkyTeam livery arriving from Paris-Charles de Gaulle. Long distance wing fluff over the 777's top foil, wing top foils. Now time to go back to narrow bodies. Now it's narrow bodies coming in on both runways, so we're not missing out on a lot in that respect. Got a 737 coming into the center runway and parallel to it, and the first airplane to arrive over here is KLM flight 1068 arriving from Southampton. Embraer 190 with an E2 Embraer as number 2 arriving from Copenhagen to center, and another Embraer 190 coming to Polderbaan. So we have two consecutive Embraer 190s, one from Southampton in the foreground, the other one arriving from Bristol. Yeah, well, good morning to Killer Spieler, and they call me M. Good morning, Troy. Well, good evening to you. That is the 737. Next pair is an Embraer 190 to our runway, and the other runway will receive an E2 Embraer 195. Another airplane in the distance already visible is Iberia Express A321neo arriving from Madrid. That doesn't have the lights on yet. How far ahead can we see? There is a third airplane somewhere behind it. I think we can already see it because it does have the lights on. Right there. Just a speck of light. Very faintly. But it is there. This is KLM flight 1076, a German Airways Embraer 190 flying on behalf of KLM arriving from Bristol. And this is the airplane that we used to know and love as the Chucky, the DAPRI. Now no longer Chucky, but just a regular ass Embraer 190 from German Airways. there you have it. Emojis come, emojis go. Chucky, no longer there. Now it is ITA. ITA's time to reign. KLM E2 Embraer 195 arrived from Copenhagen. Flight 1268. Beautiful wing fluff. Hadi Thijs, goedemorgen. Now our next pair coming in. Iberia Express with the lights on. In the meantime, an A321neo arriving from Madrid, and parallel to it is KLM flight 1816 arriving from Frankfurt, and Embraer 190. Still, have a look at this light. It is beautiful. Maybe a little bit wider. Still amazing to see. Weird weather where we have high pressure but also high moisture. Iberia Express flight 1791. It's an A321, and A321 Neos are very good at producing those vortices from the flap tips. Case in point, this specimen. And coming in to center, parallel to it, is the Adler flight 1816, flying on behalf of KLM. Returning from Frankfurt. Next to come in, to pull around, and no parallel arrival to center to accompany it. Flying, well, there is one just a little bit behind it. ITA Airways flight 108, A321neo arriving from Rome. This is KLM flight 1056, a Britty hopper. Eastern Airways flying on behalf of KLM. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Norwich. It is an Embraer 190 long range, and the journey thus far has been 127 nautical miles. So there you go, long range vehicle for short range journeys. The airplane is 17 years old, hailing from the year 2007, month not being specified on flight radar. And flying parallel to it is an opportunity to use the new custom emoji. ITA Airways flight 108, A321neo arriving from Rome, 2 hours precisely on the way according to flight radar. Brand new airplane, first flight December 2023. Right. Now, is it producing any vortices? Doesn't seem to be the case. Now it seems to be encountering a bit more moisture. A little bit of wing fluff occasionally. That seems to be the only thing. The vortices we would have seen already otherwise. Let's quickly turn back. Next airplane coming in, KLM flight 982 arriving from London City. It is a KLM Embraer 190 181 nautical miles in the journey. That is the fast PHEZZ. 11 years old. The quick going to the computer to highlight Just Plain Nuts' special, what is it, super chat, Lise chocolate fund. Mate, thank you so much for that. I guess I'll have to buy her some chocolate when I see her again. She's going back to Belgium now. But we'll meet again later in the month. Which is also why I won't be streaming on the 28th until the 30th. Thursday, Friday and Saturday. We'll be in Belgium those days. Should be back again on Sunday, December 1st. Assuming we have decent weather. Hey, Lance also back in the chat. Mario also back in the chat. Good morning, guys. Skydive Gekkie, goedemorgen. Welcome all others who have joined in the meantime. If you joined us just now, you missed an emergency landing. You also missed 2 747s. But if you are going to stick around with us, you're going to see another 747 hopefully landing on Polderbaan. And the A380 from Emirates almost certainly will land on Polderbaan. Suparna 747 arriving from China, underway now. The Suparna 747 was expected 5 minutes to 1 last time we checked. If that's going to stay the way it was, then it is probably going to land on Polderbaan, which is expected to be the only runway for arrivals from 11:40 until 1 o'clock approximately. Lars, goedemorgen. Michael, morning. And also good morning, Firewalker John. Also a massive big thank you to you and congratulations, celebrating 13 months of membership. 13 months, woohoo, great stream, boy, John says. John, thank you so much for your continued support, mate. Hope all is still good and to your liking in the lounge. 13 months and another green member since a month ago. Thanks for the support, John. Let me know if something isn't to your liking in the lounge. Let me see what I can do about it. And even if you decide not to stay on as a member, hopefully you'll stay as a frequent visitor for many more months to come. Now, beautiful vapor and vortices. Interesting lighting today. Interesting airplane movements today. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Evert. And welcome all others who have joined. Beautiful lighting. Hardly any wind. We're under the area, under the influence of high pressure over here, but also the air is very humid. That means that we have cloudiness, nebulosity at moments, and also mild drizzle now and then. Thus far, not very intense over here, just a few droplets on 1 or 2 occasions. High humidity, which is being displayed here. Wing fluff over the top foil, vortices emanating from the flap tips. This is KLM flight 1042 coming in, arriving from Birmingham. KLM 737-900. Parallel arrivals, although not perfectly in sync. This is an Embraer 175 arriving from Munich, KLM flight 1850. The next pair coming in is a pair of Embraer 190s, so both runways will be seeing an Embraer 190. We're also seeing Russell. Embraer 190 in the foreground, KLM flight 912 arriving from Aberdeen. E2 Embraer 195 on the left hand in the background, arriving from Newcastle. Hey there Troy, morning. And good morning to all others who have joined in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We are standing at the Polderbaan, once again being used for arrivals. For a brief moment it was a dedicated runway for an emergency landing, KLM flight 661, A330-200, destined to go to Houston, Texas, returning after 15 minutes of flight, allegedly due to a bird strike. Landed while being heavy, did not dump fuel as far as we could see. Came in hot, but it landed safely. Emergency vehicles immediately came to the airplane. And after a quick check, it taxied to the gate. And shortly thereafter, incoming flights to Polderbaan resumed. This is the Herpa Derpa Derpa. 75 years of herpes. Going viral. Flying parallel to it is also an Embraer 190. This one is arriving from Aalborg, KLM flight 1284. Now a pair of E2 Embraer 195s is coming in to both runways. The E2 that we are seeing here is KLM flight 954 arriving from Newcastle. Flying parallel to it is KLM flight 1292, which is arriving from Billund. Hadi Eufrasio, good morning and welcome all others. Welcome to the show, you're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. Polderbaan arrivals, 2 747s already landed. We also saw an emergency landing and we're about to see another 747 as well as the Emirates A380, all before 1 PM local time, which you can find in the bottom left corner of your screen. Now, next coming into our runway is going to be an A330-200, while we're looking at an E2 that is landing on center. Was mentioning slight drizzle on occasion. Right now we have a few droplets falling, so I'll keep an eye out for the lens, see if it is still clean. Seems to be so. This is KLM flight 765 coming in from Bonaire, an A330-200. Same airplane type as the airplane that was doing an emergency landing earlier. Flying parallel to it is KLM flight 1772 arriving from Berlin. That's a 737-800. What is up, Andy? Good to see ya. Hope you've had a good day, mate. KLM flight 765 arriving from Bonaire, A330-200, 4,208 nautical miles it has journeyed. And this is the PHAOE, and it was the PHAOA that was doing the emergency landing. That was KLM flight 661, destined to go to Houston. Failed miserably in its journey, had to return, but it landed beautifully. It was almost as if nothing was wrong. The only thing you could see was that it was going a little bit faster than they normally would have flown. That is it. The landing was picture perfect. Compliments to the pilot flying who landed the airplane. Lighting not as dramatic anymore as it was earlier. Still here and there. You can still see it. We're under the influence of high pressure over here. Now it is 11:21, so ordinarily parallel arrivals for another 20 or so more minutes. No, there it is. Next airplane to center is another German Airways, Embraer 190, arriving from Nuremberg. And right now, two Embraer 190s to the center runway, and Air France coming in to the Polderbaan. Air France A320, flight 1500. Adri is signing off. See you later, Adri. Thanks for joining. Next airplane coming in is Air France flight 1500, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Next airplane coming in, giving me a moment to go to the computer and say welcome and thank you to Ludwig, who is our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Just became a member. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Thank you for choosing AMS Live as your place to reside and relax. You'll now have the custom emojis at your disposal. Use them whenever you see fit. Spamming is not allowed over here, but spamming with custom emojis is definitely allowed. This is Air France that we see in the foreground. In the background we have JetBlue coming in from New York JFK. There it is. Hey there QJ, good morning. Good to see ya. No baby bus, but a standard A320. 46 minutes on the way to get from Paris to Amsterdam. That is standard time. Nominal, if you will. London, Paris, Luxembourg are all 45-minute flights. On average, 40 to 45 minutes. The airplane is 16 years old that you're now seeing. The first flight of this airplane was in February of the year 2008. Bump at the bump. Omelette du fromage, à bientôt, air baguette. Good morning, John, tuning in from Canada. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Welcome all others who have joined in the meantime. Parallel arrivals in progress. Austrian just now passed us by. JetBlue is coming closer. That is flight 2288 or 62288. Arrival from New York. Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels behind it. Flying parallel, a little bit ahead of the A321neo of JetBlue is a KLM Embraer 190 that is arriving from Göteborg. They're no longer flying exactly parallel. 2 airplane glide slope shots, and on occasion a 3rd airplane visible. High pressure, high humidity, decent visibility. 2 747s already landed. The 3rd one is coming. The A380 is too. The cables are emanating from the flap tips. You can see them. If I apply digital zoom, magnify the pixels a little bit. A321neos are very good at producing these vortices with high relative humidity conditions. JetBlue arriving from New York JFK. 2-year-old airplane, first flight September 2022. Next up, KLM flight 1704, an Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels, all the way from Brussels. 90 nautical miles, 27 minutes on the way, 5 more nautical miles to go. The PHEXA is coming in, 10-year-old airplane, first flight December 2013. Troy has to go to sleep. Thank you for joining, Troy. Sleep well, hope to see you in the next one. The airplane in the background behind it is a KLM E2 Embraer 195. Hey, are there any other airplanes coming in after the G? I'm not seeing any on flight radar just yet. Might this be the last airplane to center? It opened earlier, of course, due to the emergency landing that landed on Polderbaan. Maybe they are closing it a bit earlier than normally would be the case. That would be nice. If that is the case, it means that from now on, more or less, everything coming in from east and west will be coming to the Polderbaan. We'll find out soon enough, but it does look like it for the time being at least. Might also just be the case that not a lot of traffic from the east is arriving at the moment. Beautiful butt shot. Also, Andy, what the fudge? Thank you so much. Just now gifting 10 memberships. I hope that everybody who received a membership will say thank you for it. Andy, thank you so much. That is above and beyond. Very generous of you. 10 new members, courtesy of you. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, new members. Don't forget to say thank you for your gifted membership to Andy. Now, there is an Embraer 175 arriving from Bergen, still landing on center, so the G was not the last airplane yet. This is an airplane arriving from Glasgow, KLM flight 936. That's an E2 Embraer 195. Hey there, Wagner, who is tuning in from Brazil. Good morning and welcome to the show, all other viewers. You're watching Amos Live. My name is Boy and we are standing along the Polderbaan. Runway 18 left, no, 18 right. I always keep confusing them. At the moment, still one of 2 runways being used for arrivals. Usually around 11:40, so in 10 minutes from now, We're going back to one runway for arrivals, and that is expected to remain the Polderbaan for the upcoming hours. We already saw two 747s land. We also saw an emergency landing of a KLM A330-200. Flock of birds is passing by just now. And apparently bird strikes in both engines, the cause of the emergency landing taking place on Polderbaan earlier. Heavy shit. Now we're going to stick around for another 1.5 hours or so. The A380 is still coming in. Supernova is also coming in, a 747. First up, EasyJet flight 23441, arrival from Liverpool. It's an A320. Not Jesus, but Gizom. And Gizom is 9 years old. First flight was in April 2015. Once again, a moment of slight drizzle here. You're not getting wet, but you might get a few droplets on your lens. Now the wind luckily is blowing from behind as the way the camera is oriented right now, so hopefully it's not going to be that bad. If you see anything and I'm missing it, let me know. Thus far the lens seems to be clean. Hey there Peter, goedemorgen. Arzinho, good morning. Good to see you again. Good morning Toby. And welcome all others. Great, goedemorgen. Bob is signing out, signing off for his beauty sleep. Thank you for joining, Bob. Sleep well. Mrs. Professor will do the same. Thank you as well for joining, Mrs. Professor. Hope to see you all in the next one. Embraer 170 arriving from Humberside. That's a Britty hopper. Flying on behalf of KLM, flight 972. 38 minutes underway. 20-year-old airplane, first flight March 2004. We have a moment to spare. Let's have a quick look at the weather. Last time we checked, 9 kilometers of visibility and a ceiling at 2200 feet. Wind was blowing from the south-southwest with 8 knots or 3 Beaufort. A refresh will tell us that the wind more or less is the same. Speed is 5 knots. The ceiling is also more or less the same. Not a lot has changed. I'll paste that in the ticker in a moment. Let's also have a look at the airplanes coming in. Bodes well. Supernova is continuing to make up time. Its ETA ever more before 1 o'clock, making the likelihood of it landing on Polderbaan ever more greater. At 12:22 in the safe zone to land on Polderbaan is the Emirates A380. Both are coming in. I'm sticking around for both of them. Should be good. Let me quickly catch the landing of the Embraer 170. Then I'll paste the METAR into the ticker. So Supernova, the third queen, landing on Polderbaan, very likely. Unless another emergency landing takes place, of course. Something unforeseen can always happen. Ordinarily, under normal circumstances, with nothing out of the ordinary, both quad engined airplanes, quad members I should say, will be landing on the runway we are standing next to. A quick paste of the METAR in the ticker. And a massive big thank you to Arzinho for your super chat. No accompanying text with it, but thank you so much, Arzinho. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much for your super chat. Embraer 175 coming in next. As I think right now Polderbaan has become the only runway for arrivals once again. Embraer 175 followed by another Embraer 175. KLM flight 1762 is the next airplane coming in. It is arriving from Bremen. 154 nautical miles. The airplane is 8 years old. Its first flight was in May 2016. Now, we've had beautiful lighting. Now it is becoming a bit more grey. Also a little bit dimmer looking to the southwest. But then again, as a droplet is falling on the lens, you can also see bits of blue over here. Strange weather it has been all throughout the stream, and it is continuing to be so. So it looks dark in the direction of the glide slope, but there's also bits of blue right next to it. And you can also see a little droplet on the lens, so it's not perfectly dry here. I'll wipe the lens after this landing though, don't you worry. This is KLM flight 1788, another Embraer 175 arriving from Hanover. 7-year-old airplane, first flight June 2017. Little butt shot to boot. Let's do a little bit of maintenance. Right, lens should be clean again. Oh, thought the lens was clean and then it turns out it still has new droplets on it. Well, there you go. The Eintracht is coming in. Special livery Sun Express arriving from Izmir, Turkey. 737-800. Hailing from the year 2011. 13 years old. The Eintracht is a very nice airplane. Have a look. I think it looks like a gravity tag. The rear part of this airplane's fuselage is beautiful. At least I like it. Maybe you guys don't. Long time no see. Thank you for your kind words there, Andy. The most dramatic stream on the internet. Well, the lighting is definitely dramatic. Don't see that very often. We've seen some beautiful lighting. And also a tractor, because agricultural activity never stops. And also a bit of blue over here. There is a little gap. Quite interesting. Next to come in is number 190. Coming in from London City, KLM flight 984. Qatar 777 arriving from Doha coming this way. Flying in between Almere and Lelystad. Also a Dreamliner arriving from Rio de Janeiro is coming this way. KLM flight 706 still flying in the vicinity of The Hague, Rotterdam, so still a couple of minutes out, but it is coming. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You already missed quite something. Two 747s, an emergency landing due to a double bird strike in both engines. And you're still going to see an A380 and a third 747 if you're sticking around like us, like we do, until approximately 1 o'clock. Polderbaan once again has become the only runway for arrivals and is expected to stay at until 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. local time. Right now the next airplane coming in is KLM flight 984 arriving from London City. Another Embraer 175 arriving from Leeds is also coming in, and Qatar Triple is nearing permanent, so that looks to become number 3. Russell is also chilling and relaxing, overlooking us, and he sees all is well. Again, dramatic skies here. Looking dark on one end, looking blue on the other side, and everything in between we have seen already. Russell the Crow also saying hi. And again, dramatic skies here. Wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently looks like this. What wind is blowing from the south-southwest. 5 knots, nothing to write home about. Blue in the sky on the one hand. Darkness on the other. And somewhere in between you see fireworks in the sky. If you joined us just now, you have missed an emergency landing that took place earlier in the stream. KLM A330 returning after just 15 minutes of flight due to a double bird strike in both engines. The airplane landed safely on Polderbaan, which was freed up for its landing, and all other traffic was directed to the center runway temporarily. Also, 2 747s landed. A third one is expected around 10 to 1, and half an hour before that, the Emirates A380. Both the 747 and the A380 are expected to land on the runway we are standing next to, the Polderbaan. Look at the lighting. The Embraer 175 being illuminated by the sun. Apparently the sun is shining over there. KLM flight 1020 arriving from Leeds, and another Embraer 175 is coming in hot on short traffic pattern. I'm looking to see if I can find it already. Bit hard. Background is cloudy. It's flying base. I'm thinking we should see it together with this airplane pretty soon. Jeroen says 747 overhead. Now, there is a little bit of blue, but it is not blue enough and open enough to see a control, unfortunately. I was looking, because there is a bit of blue right here above me. I can hear, I think I heard it. Wasn't able to see it though. Third airplane coming in, also flying base and turning final, is Qatar flight 8207, arriving from Doha, 777 freighter, I think. Qatar already sent an A350, which unfortunately landed on center. Normally would have landed on Polderbaan due to its time of arrival, but because of the emergency landing, Polderbaan was still closed for business, at least for other traffic. Hey there Felix, good to see you again, hope all is well. Welcome all others who have joined. Stick around until approximately 1 o'clock and you will see another 747 and an A380 land on the runway we are standing next to. If you joined us later, you may have missed an emergency landing already taking place. Thus 2 747s landing on the runway we are standing next to. In the foreground we have KLM flight 1710 arriving from Luxembourg. That's number 175. And now turning in is Qatar flight 8207 arriving from Doha. Qatar 777 freighter is 8 years old, and the KLM Embraer 175 is 7 years old. Wind is blowing moderately from the south-southwest, hardly any crosswind. Hardly any wind, period. The lighting today is so interesting. Lights over there, dark over there, and then a bit further you can see bits of blue. Also, chunk of blue in the sky over here. Next up, Qatar Cargo, flight 8207 arriving from Doha. 6 hours and 25 minutes on the way. This 777 freighter has the registration Alpha 7 Bravo Foxtrot India. It is 8 years old. Its first flight was in April 2016. Indeed, Andy, the mist seems to have lifted somewhat. For how long remains to be seen. You can still see some vortices emanating from the flap tips, indicating still relatively high humidity. And in the background, an Embraer 190 is turning in, arriving from Darlington or Teesside. Flap surfaces, not as clean as KLM's. Now, it is almost Saturday where Marja is at in New Zealand, so she is signing off and going to bed. Thank you so much for joining, Marja. Sleep well. Hope to see you again tomorrow. And enjoy the day tomorrow that lies ahead of you. What the fudge? It is Donald. Donald is back. Where is Daisy? Not seeing Daisy. Now wherever Donald goes, Daisy is usually not far behind. Let's go to autofocus. Get him in frame more sharply. Wah. Wah, wah. Butt shot. Yeah. Donald's behind. Look pristine. Clean flap surfaces. Next up is KLM flight 964. It is a Britty hopper arrival from Teesside or Darlington. 47 minutes underway. The airplane 15 years old. First flight in 2009 somewhere. Although the month not being specified. E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Edinburgh is number 2, and KLM Dreamliner arrival from Rio de Janeiro is now number 3. KLM flight 706. Hey, and we also have the A320 arrival from Erbil in Iraq. That is flying base now, arrival from the east. Right, interesting lighting once again. Also with the runway lights on. So once again, threatening clouds over there, being accompanied by bits of blue in the sky as well. Big dichotomy in the sky. Once again, in the distance you have menacing darkness, and here in between you have bits of blue. Over there also the lower part of the sky seems to be lighter. That's probably because the sun is shining through these blue bits. The lighting is really something, not just on camera but also in real life. I'm not sure if the camera can convey all the intricacies in color and lighting that you can see in real life over here right now. This is an E2 Embraer 195 landing without using the reversers. A no reverser landing arriving from Edinburgh. Sup, bruh? Time for a heavy hitter. We had to wait long to see one, at least from KLM. There were a couple, but they were diverted to the center runway. Hey, Captain Jerry, Stacy, Danny, good to see ya. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're in for another 747 and an A380 in the upcoming hour. You already missed 2 747s and an emergency landing earlier if you joined us just now. This is KLM flight 706, arriving from Rio de Janeiro. It is a 7879 Dreamliner, arriving from Rio de Janeiro, the PHBHC. The airplane is 9 years old. Its first flight was in October 2015. Glide slope shots indeed, Jerry. Glide slope shots indeed. The airplane behind it is UB Airlines, arriving from Erbil. Erbil in Iraq. Flap surfaces, pristine, not a smudge to see. Now check out the flaperons. You can see they're now used as part of the speed brake system. And once these lower, those upper thingies, you will see that this thing in the center, the flaperon, will also go back to its flap configuration. So on Dreamliners it serves a triple purpose. Part speed brake, part aileron, part flap. Maybe we'll see it better on the other side then. Once the speed brakes lower, you will also see the flaperon going back. Yep, there you go. And now if they apply aileron, you will also see it go up and down together with the aileron, which is on the extreme end of the wing. Next up is an A320 arriving from Erbil in Iraq. Gives me a quick moment to go to the computer and say a massive big thank you to Jerry and highlight his message. He just now gifted 10 memberships. What the fudge. Jerry, thank you so much for that. You shouldn't have, but you did it anyway. One of the longest members already and also a frequent gifter of memberships. I hope that everybody who received a membership just now will enjoy the membership and will not forget to say thank you to Jerry. Jerome, thank you so much. Hope the rehabilitation is going well, man. How's it going? Jerry also still very adamantly promoting ground crew as a custom emoji, even though ITA has been declared the winner. It got the most votes in absolute sense of the two polls, the remaining 6 contenders. Transavia will be next, arriving from Pisa, flight 5424, 737-800. NJ says, nice registration on the airplane, lazy bum. I must have missed that. Can we still see it? Too late. Walking on your own. Hey, that's good news, Jerome. Now it was a course of 90 days of in-house rehabilitation, right? Inpatient, I mean, not in-house, inpatient. Hey there, Matthew. Good morning. Matthew tuning in from Louisville, home of UPS Airlines, all the way in Kentucky. Welcome to the show, mate, and welcome all others who have joined. If you joined us just now, you missed an emergency landing of KLM flight 661. Check out the lighting. The scale of chimney smoke never looked so beautiful. Man. 90 days got out last week. Dude, no way. The 90 weeks, have they passed already? Are you done with the rehabilitation already, Jerome? Anyway, as I was saying, if you joined us just now, you may have missed some things already, including an emergency landing. KLM Flight 661, A330-200 returned after a double bird strike in both engines, allegedly. Landed safely on Polderbaan. Emergency vehicles came to the rescue to see if anything was needed. Luckily, everything was a-okay. The landing was beautiful. And you also missed two 747s if you joined us only just now. If you stick around for another hour, you're about to see the A380 in 20 minutes from now. And Supernova 747, which is expected shortly before 1 o'clock. Let's have another look at Flight Radar quickly to see where those airplanes are at. The A380 is approaching Dutch airspace, still expected 12:22. And Supernova is still expected before 1 o'clock. So if all is well, Supernova will also land on runway when I ride the Polderbaan. Only from 1 o'clock until 2 o'clock is center expected to open as secondary runway for arrivals. So next up, EasyJet arriving from Belfast, A320neo, flight 23051. 1 hour and 5 minutes. It has journeyed thus far. 6-year-old airplane, first flight August 2018. Jerry asks, Delta from PDX is now KLM? Not that I know. Not that I know. Although, truth be told, we haven't seen a lot of Deltas today. I don't recall having seen one arriving from Portland. Now there's another airplane turning in the background, arriving from Chester. Whether or not we can see it already, I don't know for sure. I don't think we can. I'm thinking it is lower. I'm also thinking it doesn't have the lights on yet. Oh wait, now I do see it. Haha. What a difference turning on the lights makes. Now, it's all narrow bodies coming in for the time being. Zoom out a bit further. We should see KLM Flight 1754 coming in next. E2 Embraer arriving from Hamburg. Should be coming in from the right in the background somewhere. Also coming in is a tractor, the noise of which you probably already picked up on the mic. Whistling a little bit. Hey Jurk, good to see you, mate. Hope all is well over there in Thailand. Mate, you missed two 747s and an emergency landing. Now, the lighting once again is something to behold. On the one hand, we have blue skies. On the other, we have dramatic coloration in cloudiness. The scale of chimney smoke looks like so. Looking to the east, things look like this. Turning a bit further to the southeast, Schiphol now looks like this with a background. Multi-layers, multi-colors. Light shining on at the horizon, just above the horizon. Yeah, quite spectacular to see. Next to land is KLM flight 1030 arriving from Persenchester. Low-key wheelie there by the pilot flying. Nicely done, sir. Or ma'am. Hey, Daisy has arrived. Donald and Daisy. It's been a while since we last saw them together. Wah, 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 wah. But there you go. Right, so Portland to Amsterdam will be taken over by KLM. That's a pity. That's one Delta A330 less on the roster. One less chance to get more DEF. KLM flight 1754 arrived from Hamburg, coming in next. E2 Embraer 195. PH NXN, 2 years old. First flight somewhere in 2022. Month not specified by flight radar. Let's have a look in the cabin, in the cockpit. All right. It's, yeah. The murder of crows passing by, threatening us on the fly, literally and figuratively. Now, only a few minutes of not filming them, and all of a sudden they have multiplied. First there was one, now there are two. Just now there were two, now all of a sudden there are four. Dare I turn away the camera and point back at them again? What is happening? Hey there, Jin, also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well. Now, let's turn the camera back to the next airplane coming in. We also see something in the background. That is a KLM 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow. And this is, well, what is it? Is it Anadolu Jet? It is BBN Airlines, which I think is flying either for Turkish or for Anadolu Jet. It is arriving from Istanbul. It is an A321. Turkish registered, 17 years old. First flight November 2007. Illuminated by the sunshine, which is shining through a hole in the clouds right above me. I think that's where the sun rays are coming from. A rarity here in the stream today, the application of reversers. You can see the runway was also still relatively wet. Evan also back, good to see you, mate. Top of the morning, sir. West Coast well represented again. Casper the ghost, the goat. Meh. Little bit of blue right here above me, which I think is illuminating the airplanes on the glide slope further north. The sun at this point shining a bit from behind me. KLM flight 1004 arriving from London Heathrow, we see. And two airplanes we can see in the background, a Transavia A321neo and a Transavia 737. This is KLM flight 1004 arriving from London Heathrow. Still some vortices emanating from the flap tips, indicative of the relatively high humidity. Nebulosity has cleared a little bit. The moisture is still there. Now it also looks like the sun is actually shining on the ground over there. Those trees look beautifully illuminated and way more colorful than everything that you see in the surrounding area. Next up will be the trash airplane arriving from Barcelona. Transavia flight 5132. It's an A321neo. 1 hour and 54 minutes underway. The PHYHZ. So that is the first rental A321neo that got delivered. Sarah, greetings. Good to see ya. Hope all is well. If you joined us just now, you might have missed an emergency landing, an A330-200 with a double bird strike in each of the two engines. Returned to the Polderbaan after just 15 minutes of flight. Landed safely. Obviously, I'll make a separate video of this whole ordeal once I get home later today. Also, two 747s have landed and another one is coming before the third Queen will land on presumably the Polderbaan. It is still expected before 1 o'clock after all. The Emirates A380 will land pretty soon. Already in Dutch airspace. Polderbaan, once again, the only runway open for arrivals until approximately 1 o'clock. How about that for dramatic background? All throughout the day, cloudy backdrops have been beautiful. Let's quickly turn back, have a look at Transavia flight 6936, arriving from Tia Maria, or transient ischemic attack. Transavia flight 6936, arriving from Tirana, Albania. 899 nautical miles it has journeyed, being illuminated by the sun and magnifying pixels. This is back to the top end of optical zoom with no magnification of pixels. This is the PHHXO. It is 5 years old. The first flight was in January 2019. Hadi Klaartje, goedemiddag. Middag. Good to see you again. Rob, goedemiddag. Rob, tuning in from South Africa. Just in time for the A380. Indeed, you are. It is expected within 10 minutes or so. And if you guys don't have to be anywhere, stick around until a few minutes to 1. Suparna 747 arriving from China. Expected a few minutes to 1. So if all is well, it should also land on the runway this Transavia just now landed on, the Polderbaan. Indeed, Lisa, that KLM flight 661 also had a TIA, which is why it had to turn around. Wasn't feeling well. Next up, lot flight 263, Embraer 190 arriving from Warsaw. A lot to see, always at Schiphol. And here is the next one. Flight time 1 hour and 36 minutes. It is an Embraer 190 AR, the Splumf, the SP LMF, 15 years old. First flight somewhere in 2009, although the month not specified on flight radar. Also visible in the background is Shamrock flight 604 arriving from Dublin, Ireland, A320. The next Shamrock coming in. Hey Bart, morgen. Alles goed?
Zeker. Met jou?
Ça va? Ça va. Moet je kijken naar de belichting. Het zonnetje schijnt precies door dat gat.
Als ik om de hoek in kwam, kwam die Transavia 320 of 321 binnen. Man.
Dat is mooi hè? Ja. Mr. V1 Bart also arrived on the scene.
Yes, sir.
Going for a stream later?
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, in that case you're just about to miss the A380. Don't forget to watch. It is almost here.
Yes.
I think it was expected in around 12:20. Let's see, where is it? Let me zoom out and see where it is. It is now flying over Merkelmeer. Ja, precies. Mooie start. Precies. All the best.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Het is goed man. Later. Shamrock flight 604 arriving from Dublin, coming in next. 1 hour 8 minutes on the way. The EIDEH. IDA is 20 years old. Its first flight was in September 2004. Mr. V1 Aviation Bart is also walking up the Polderbaan, going for a stream starting in 10 minutes. And check out the lighting, it is beautiful. Hey Lorenzo, good to see you. Lisa asks, do you have a French-speaking girlfriend or something? Absolutely, Skiwef. That's her. She's posh and speaks French. Vueling is going to be the next airplane. Arriving from Barcelona, flying base, a bit further to the north. It's the IDA. The IDA baby. Again, cannot show you guys often enough beautiful dramatic skies. It is amazing. Looks very threatening on one hand, but there's also blue over there. There's also a bit of blue over there. Plus there's blue right here. Vueling is turning in, flight 8309 arriving from Barcelona. Where is it? Shine a light, come on. Hard to see the airplanes if they don't have their lights on already. Now it is a bit further out still. Another yellow truck. Met 3. That is from the Met office. KNMI, that's the Dutch Meteorological Office. National Office. I can hear a contrail, or at least an airplane passing overhead. Unable to see it, unfortunately. Right, there it is, Vueling flight 8309 arriving from Barcelona. Somewhere in the background behind it, turning in, there should be KLM flight 1088 arriving from Cardiff. It's number 190. And these two are the last airplanes preceding the A380. Emirates Flight 147 is flying base, and I'm wondering, can we see it already? I'm thinking on paper we should be able to see it, but you know what they say, anything is possible on paper. You'd think a flying apartment building on with wings would be visible quite easily. I think that the clouds today are in the way. Or I am not looking where I need to look, but I think that the clouds are a little bit in the way. You should be able to see it soon enough though. Right, Michael, haha. What do contrails sound like? Didn't know you were autistic, man. An airplane overhead possibly producing a contrail depending on the altitude and the humidity and the temperature of the ambient air. Haha. Yeah. You know what I mean. Right, Vueling is touching down. Is this the... I think it is the first Vueling of the show, isn't it? Sounds good, looks good. Now, is it visible already? It should be on final. Oh no. Oh no. No. You stay away. Right. In anticipation, there it is, of the Emirates A380, there it is. Gear still up. Emirates Flight 147 on final. Number 10 on flight radar, tracked by 232 people. Rookie numbers, we have more viewers than that, don't we? Yes, the devil's number, 666 viewers. Now, it is arriving from Dubai, and it seems to have flown the standard route because its flight duration is 6 hours and 48 minutes. Normally speaking, it would have flown around 6.5 hours. The airplane, the A6 Echo Alpha, is 12 years old. Its first flight was in August 2012. We're about to hear the reversers. I'm also seeing a TUI 737 that is flying final to runway 22, arriving from PZY, Pistani. Interesting. If you don't have to be anywhere, folks, stick around. In about 20 to 25 minutes from now, the Emirates A380 is going to be followed up by the third 747 of the show. Supernova, arriving from China, expected 5 minutes to 1, last time we checked. And we are going to stick around until it has landed. If you joined us just now, welcome to the show. You're watching Amos Live. My name is Boy, and we are standing along the polderbound runway 18 right, the only runway in use for arrivals. We're seeing the Emirates A380 coming in right now. If you joined us just now, you missed quite something. An emergency landing from a KLM A330 earlier in the show due to a double bird strike in both engines. It landed safely, but it was something to see with all the emergency services also going to it. I will make a separate video of it later today, so stay tuned for that. Two 747s already landed. The A380 is next to land, and after that, in 20 to 25 minutes, a third 747 also expected to land on Polderbaan. Are these birds in the way? I hope they won't come in the vicinity of the engines. Let's look and listen. And if you don't have to be anywhere, stick around, because we are going to stick around until shortly before 1 o'clock. Suparna will be the last airplane of today's show. If you don't have to be anywhere, sit back and relax. And let's look and listen to the Emirates A380 Flight 147 arriving from Dubai. Is it doing an idle reverse landing? Also check out just how dramatic the sky is. Absolutely crazy today. What? An idle reverse A380. Boom! Go around, go around. No, you can't be serious. Check out the backdrop though. Clouds today are next level. Something that cannot be said of the audio of the A380's landing. Next level. Not really. They often use the reversers, they don't always do that. And this is the exception to the rule. Ordinarily it would have been a very loud landing. Now, will we get some redemption when the Suparna 747 will be landing? First up, we'll have to wait and see until it arrives, what time it will arrive, whether or not it is going to land on Polderbaan. Its ETA was before 1 o'clock last time we checked. Those ETAs are getting ever more accurate the more the airplane is reaching its final destination. Vol is well, it should land on Polderbaan. 1 747 thus far has been loud, the other one was timid. What is the third one going to do? If you don't have to be anywhere, stick around for another 20 to 25 more minutes. Suparna Airlines, the last airplane of the day, coming this way. Meanwhile, a massive big thank you to Wolfgang, who just now gifted 5 memberships. You shouldn't have, you don't have to do that. You're doing more than enough to support the channel as a moderator, as it is already, and as a member yourself. You know that. You don't have to, but you did it anyway. I hope that the people who received the membership from you will enjoy it and will say thank you for it as well. Wolfgang, thank you so much. Mate, you really shouldn't have. I keep saying it and you keep doing it. Same with Elvin and with Jörg. You guys are all so stubborn, you might as well be Dutch. Now let's have a look on flight radar quickly. Suparna Airlines is approaching Dutch airspace. Its ETA is still 4 minutes to 1. That bodes well. As long as its ETA is before 1 o'clock, it should land on the runway we are standing next to. If not, it should be a parallel arrival to the center runway. Something that we can still see quite well from over here. Triple airplane combo shot. Landing airplane, taxiing airplane, departing airplane. Over there in the tower, they're busy. This is the dedicated ATC tower for Polderbaan traffic. Since this runway is so far removed from the main platform area, it has its dedicated ATC tower and ATC controllers. Yeah, I thought, funny that you say that. I also thought it was resembling a golf tee, a very high golf tee with a golf ball, a small golf ball on top of it. That was exactly what I also think it looks like. Daniel is informing us that Iberia has welcomed the world's first Airbus A321 XLR. So congratulations to Iberia. Hopefully they'll fly that airplane to Amsterdam one day. Should be nice to see. In the meantime, we'll have to make do with a regular A320neo. TAP Air Portugal arriving from Lisbon. Flight 668. 999 nautical miles it has journeyed to get here. It is a brand new airplane that got delivered and did its first flight in May 2024. Drifting in very floatily. Man, that's a smooth landing. The people on board probably didn't even feel the touchdown. It was that smooth. Man, beautiful. Rob asks, will there be any United Airlines flights? That's a good question. We see them on a regular basis, but I don't know their schedule by heart, so I don't know if in the upcoming half hour or so that I will be live streaming still, whether or not we are going to see another one. Remains to be seen. Cannot say for sure that we will. Check it out. It looks very intimidating. Though no significant rain was expected to fall today. And also, looking right where I am standing, the sky is actually blue. Which is also why... Oh! Snap! What the fudge! Caught a lucky break there with a quad squad contrail. That's an A380. Passing by almost immediately overhead. And wow, look at the crisp lighting. Doesn't look to be Emirates, but I might be wrong. No, if it were Emirates, it would have said so on the bottom. Also doesn't look to be Lufthansa, so I'm not exactly sure which airliner we are looking at. It's flying just south of me, almost immediately overhead. What a lucky break. Lufty coming in, flight 2304, reversing. Coming in from Munich. Oh, it was Lufty. Okay, yeah. It is resembling this livery. Yeah. Lufty to Munich. LAX to Munich. Cool. Angel Ivy asks if JetBlue flies into Amsterdam, and the answer is yes, they do. 2 A321neos fly on a daily basis between Boston and New York. Between Boston and Amsterdam and New York and Amsterdam. We saw the one arriving from New York earlier in the stream. Next to come in will be a BA A320 arriving from London Heathrow. Flying on the base leg, coming in from the west. So it should be over there somewhere. Question is, can we see it already? The answer is probably not, but I am going to try and see if we could. No, that's a bird. Thought I caught a lucky break there, but obviously it wasn't. The airplane, it was just a flesh and bone bird. Boring. No. Yes. Well, there you go. Our next airplane is flying over there. BA, flight 434, arriving from London Heathrow. Hey there, Louis. Good to see ya. And thank you, Captain Jerry, for that informative post. His farts stink. Smell you later. What's this then? Are those columns of light, or are those just the clouds being shaped in a certain way? Almost looks like rays of light, but through the clouds or something. Interesting. All kinds of weather phenomena that you can see in the skies over here. Not exactly sure what that was. Yeah, UFO perhaps, could be. This time and day, this day and age, anything is possible. Now, also check out just the local illumination through the sun, through the clouds, by the sun. Almost everything is densely packed, but you can see right over there, we have a little hole, and I think the sun is shining through that hole, and it's shining right on the touchdown zone. At the risk of sounding like a broken record. Just because I can. Right, now in the dark, but if all is well, pretty soon it is going to shine like a mofo. British Airways flight 434 arriving from London Heathrow. A320, 40 minutes underway. Nominal flight duration. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight September 2008. For now, the only airplane on the glide slope as well. Next airplane to come in is probably going to be Vueling, which is flying downwind west of me. I'm looking around me to see if I can spot it already. Don't think I can. Let's have a look and see how this airplane is going to shine. Or is... Oh no, no, I was wrong. I misjudged where the light is. It is already further in the background. It's the highway now that is illuminated. You can see it. See? Ah. BA was too slow. I pity the fool. Indeed. Jeez. Oh no, fanblade. Suparna Zwanenburg. Fanblade is calling it. Suparna 747 will be landing at the center runway. Which was to be... There was always the risk of it being assigned to that runway. That it was going to be assigned to that runway. Still, we should be able to see it from over here. Yeah, indeed, Durkamtour. Where is the wrong runway emoji? Yeah, unfortunately, we're still a couple of hundred members short of getting an additional emoji. So either we have to get rid of another old one, or we need a shitload of new members before we're able to get another custom emoji in. Now, even though Suparna Airlines is going to land on center, I'm still going to be around until it has landed. By now, most of you will know that from over here we can see airplanes landing on the central runway quite well. Luckily for us, the nebulosity that we were seeing earlier in the stream has now substantially been reduced, if not fully. Still beautiful to see the clouds over there. We can also see airplanes taking off from runway 24 quite well from over here. Delta. So although it is cloudy, visibility below the ceiling is quite good, luckily for us. Next airplane coming in is Vueling arriving from Valencia, flight A350. Tati asks about an update of what happened with the A330 this morning, and allegedly it was a double bird strike, one in each engine. Adi Clementia, goedemiddag, good to see ya. Suparna has arrived in Dutch airspace. If you look at flight radar, you can see it is flying in the northeast of the Netherlands. Arriving from Zhuangzhou. I'm probably mispronouncing it and aggravating a lot of Chinese speakers by doing it. Apologies for that. First up, Vueling flight A350, arriving from Valencia, A320. Dirk, goedemiddag, also in the chat. Yeah, if you joined us just now, you missed two 747s landing, but more spectacularly, you also missed an emergency landing of KLM flight 661, which was flying to Houston, Texas this morning, and after an alleged double bird strike with bird strikes in both engines, it returned to Schiphol, not even dumping fuel, landing on Polderbaan, which got cleared. All the other incoming traffic was directed to the center runway. The airplane came in hot with a lot of speed, but the landing was pristine. It was very well done by the pilot flying. The only thing that was off was that it was passing by a little bit more faster than normally would have been the case because of the speed it had to keep up, not to drop like a brick. The emergency services also came to the airplane that came to a halt at the runway, on the runway. After everything was checked and was deemed to be okay, that is, no brakes were on fire because of the heat. It taxied to the gate. The firefighters and all the other emergency services went away again. I will make a separate video of the whole ordeal, so you don't have to go through the entire stream if you don't have the time for that. Stay tuned for that. Now, number 2 on the glide slope is Kuwait Airways, arriving from Kuwait City. What do you know? Being preceded by a Transavia 737-800. There's also H1, the bird control van over there in the field. And over here we have Transavia flight 6336 arriving from Valencia. Airplane 2 hours and something underway. 9-year-old airplane, first flight April 2015. Hey, Matthew says somebody already posted your video of KLM on X. Okay, interesting. At least on YouTube people ask if they are allowed to use a clip. Then again, I guess it is easy to make a clip of this. It was quite spectacular, seeing all the firefighters and whatnot come to the airplane, ground to a halt on the runway. Now, next up, Kuwait Airways A320neo, flight 127 arriving from Kuwait City. There it is. Now, let's see what else is coming this way. We have KLM flight 622 arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. That's a 777-200. Turkish A330 flight 1957 is arriving from Istanbul. Will that already be assigned to the center runway? Felipe, indeed, the aesthetics with the clouds are unmatched. Absolutely. Today is an exceptional day in terms of the cloudiness and the lighting that it has produced and still does. Let me show you in a moment after this landing. Now to the east of me. Well, if I zoom out, you will see it once this airplane passes by. We'll transition to what I want to show you automatically. Now, it looks very intimidating at moments, but we're under the influence of high pressure. Just it is combined with relative high humidity, and that means a lot of cloudiness. The clouds look impressive, but only an occasional light drizzle was forecasted for today, and that is also what we have seen so far. 2 instances where a couple of minor droplets ended up on the lens, and you can see what I was meaning, what I was referring to in terms of impressive cloudiness. Let's not forget the butt shot from Kuwait. Ah, okay, they did attribute the video to me. Perfect. Well, I guess that's okay. It is very uncommon to see, so if anybody is already sharing it on X, I suppose that is perfectly fine. Right, well, Hank, thank you for joining. Hank has to go. Already says thanks for everything, also to Austrian Wolf. And if I'm there tomorrow, if I'm going out tomorrow, he'll be present again. The weather still looks to be good. The rain that is expected was set to come in later in the day, so I'm hoping I can do another stream in the morning tomorrow. So I hope to see you then there, Hank. Next to come in is KLM flight 1818 arriving from Frankfurt. It is Embraer hour. Embraer 190, followed by another Embraer 190 after that. Pilots busy, not missing the exit. Now, if you say to yourself, what a beautiful airplane, I wish I could see more of them, you're in luck. The very next airplane will be another one of these specimens, an Embraer 190, KLM flight 1944 arriving from Basel. One of their own. That is, it isn't a British Hopper, it isn't the German Airways, it's not Herpes, it's not Adler. It definitely isn't Chucky. It's PHEXY, Foxy Lady, 6 years old, first flight February 2018. Ruben asks if there is any E2s coming in. Well, there almost certainly has to be. I'm not sure if they are close by already. But we keep seeing them more and more and more these days in the stream, so pretty sure we should see another one at some point. Whether or not in the remainder of the stream remains to be seen. Next up will not be an E2, but a 777-200ER. Coming in from Atlanta, Georgia, flight 622, 7 hours and 45 minutes on the way this airplane is. And it has been flying since January 2004, making it 20 years old. Sarah still remembers flying on KLM and having a great time as a child. I'm pretty sure you should enjoy yourself when you're flying KLM these days as well. They're still one of the best, I think. Although flying today, of course, is not the same as it used to be decades ago. Evelyn also back in the chat. Good to see ya. Now, 777, 200 Let's look and listen. This is why I'm sad to hear that apparently Delta's flight from Portland to Amsterdam will be taken over by KLM, because if it is a KLM airplane landing, they're probably not going to use the reversers, and whenever Delta is arriving, there's always the chance of it getting loud and nasty, which is what we like over here. Next to come in is KLM flight 1354, a 737-800 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. And also the first airplane to the center runway is approaching behind this and in between this and the next airplane to the Polderbaan. Transavia flight 6412 arriving from Naples, and that's an A321neo. The second airplane to come to the Polderbaan after this, which I don't think we can see already, but it should be an A320neo arriving from Athens. Yeah, really hard, struggling to see the A320neo already. Turkish flight 1957 will be the second airplane after the A321neo from Transavia to go to the center runway. Not unexpectedly, it is 5 minutes to 1 already, after all. Now we can establish that at least on the 737 we're now seeing the flap surfaces are almost as clean as they are under wide bodies, or on wide bodies I should say. First airplane coming in to the center runway. Here it is, one of Transavia's A321neos. This one is arriving from Naples, Napoli, flight 6412. Let's have a look. This is the PHYHB, the last letter beginning with, or at least it's one of the letters beginning with the at the beginning of the alphabet, the B. And that means that this is the second delivered A321neo, which is one of Transavia's own. If the last letter of the registration is a letter from the end of the alphabet, it is a rental. So the Z, Y are both rentals, and the B and A are Transavia's own. This specimen was delivered in June 2024, or at least that's when its first flight was. A321neos are good at producing those cables, those flap tip vortices. If you look closely, you could see one. Wind on the scale of chimney smoke currently looks like this. If you look to the windmills surrounding the chimney smokes, you can see there's hardly any wind. That has been the case all throughout the stream. We're under the influence of high pressure. That is also why the clouds today have been so spectacular. They look spectacular, but luckily they don't produce a lot of precipitation, if any at all. This is Sky Express arriving from Athens, an A320neo, flight 970. 4 years old, first flight October 2020. And Greece is just like ignorance. Pure bliss. Okay, once again, One or two drizzly droplets are falling. At least I can feel them. Don't think they show on the lens yet. Turkish flight 1957, arrival from Istanbul, going to the center runway A330. I'm also checking on flight radar where the 747 is at. It is flying base and is going to turn final shortly. 3 or 4 more airplanes preceding it, so still a few minutes out. Initially it was looking like it was going to arrive before 1 o'clock, but it is now 2 minutes to 1, so yeah. Oh, more geese. Also, over there. Seen and heard them quite a few times already in the last few days over here. Flocks of geese flying back and forth. Though not consistently to the south as you would have imagined they would this time of year. This is BA City Flyer arriving from, you guessed it, London City. Embraer 190, short range, 12 years old, first flight July 2012. Flying parallel to it, to the center runway is KLM flight 1602. That's a 737-800 coming in from Rome. Unfortunately already passed by a little bit. Making combo shot transitions a bit more difficult. But it is still going. Next couple of airplanes seem to be flying a bit more parallel to one another. Transavia flight 6144 arriving from Alicante, and parallel to it EasyJet A320 arriving from Venice. In the meantime, I see that Gracia has also returned on his Roadhog account and is saying hi, good afternoon my lovely airheads, and also coming in with a big bang, a very generous super chat. Gracia, goedemiddag, good to see you again mate, and thank you so much for your very royal super chat there. Hope you're doing well. If you joined us just now mate, you may have missed an emergency landing, KLM flight 661 earlier in the show, A330 to Houston, double bird strike allegedly. Came back to Polderbaan, all the emergency services also came to it. It landed safely, nothing to see in that respect, beautiful landing. Compliments to the pilot flying who did that. Did not even have time to dump fuel, came in heavy. And 2 747s already landed, the A380 landed, and Supernova is going to the center runway, the last airplane for today's show. Here we have EasyJet flight 24071 arriving from Venice, it's an A320. Now, looking to the right, I can see our last airplane already approaching. Quick intermezzo, the birds, the duckies, Donald and Daisy and the relatives are also here. But let's have a look at Supernova Airlines, which is, for me, today the last airplane of today's show. Third Queen, fourth Quad Squad member. Supernova Airlines flight 87433 arriving from Zhuangzhou, which I probably totally mispronounced. Apologies to all the Chinese speakers whose feathers I've unintentionally ruffled. Flight time from China of this Supernova 747 is 10 hours and 33 minutes. The airplane is 33 years old. It hails from the year 1991, August in fact. Now in August 1991 I turned 9. I'm from August 1982. So I was still in elementary school. What were you guys doing back then? Now you can see relative high humidity, trails from the flap tips, wing fluff on occasion. Air Baguette landing in the meantime. Now if you missed the emergency landing, rest assured I am going to make a separate video of it, which will follow later today. Something I'll start working on once I get home. If all is well, the weather tomorrow should be dry, at least in the morning, so I'm looking to go out again tomorrow. Not sure yet where I'm going to go to, since I don't know for sure what the wind will be doing. Plus I have to make sure that we aren't going to see extensive periods of rain in the morning already. If that will be the case, then I'm probably not going out, but last time I checked, any precipitation that is coming tomorrow was expected for the afternoon, late afternoon in fact, so we should be good. Hope to see you all there. Supernova has landed safely on the center runway, where the sun is shining. We can see it beautifully from over here, not being jealous at all. Now a massive big thank you to everybody who has joined me here today. I had a wonderful time here and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. If you liked the show and you haven't already, consider dropping a like. It really helps to promote this content to more people who are into streams such as these but who haven't come across the channel yet. If you want to see more live streams, I think Bart from V1 Aviation is continuing further down the runway over here. Hope to see you all tomorrow. Mods, a big thank you for keeping the stream friendly and accessible to all. A massive big thank you to everybody who was supporting the channel, not only through likes, but also through super stickers, super chats and whatnot. Thank you all so much. Hope to see you again next time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope to see you tomorrow. I'm going to say bye for now. Take care.